Let me start with something familiar and comforting: dark chocolate. Many people ask a simple question: is it possible to eat too much dark chocolate? I want to answer this calmly and clearly. From what we know today, cacao itself is not something the body treats as an enemy. In reasonable amounts, dark chocolate made with a high percentage of cacao can be a very interesting food to pay attention to. What makes dark chocolate special is not the sweetness. It is the natural compounds found in cacao. You do not need to memorize their names. What matters is what they do. When cacao is consumed in a form that is rich in these natural compounds, something remarkable happens inside the body. The body receives a signal. That signal encourages renewal processes that already exist within us. In practical terms, this means the body becomes more capable of repairing and maintaining itself. There have been human studies where older adults, including people in their 60s, showed improved resilience in their circulation after regularly consuming cacao-rich foods. The takeaway here is not a promise or a miracle claim. The takeaway is simple. Certain foods can support the body's natural ability to renew itself. When people enjoy dark chocolate with a high cacao content, the body responds by activating systems related to circulation and cellular renewal. You can think of it as gently waking up systems that are already there. And this leads us to something important. Food is not just fuel. Food is information. Your body is always listening. Now let us talk about another system that becomes more important as we age: the gut. You hear a lot about gut health these days. Sometimes it sounds confusing or overcomplicated. I want to make it simple. Inside the human body live trillions of bacteria, more than the number of stars you can see in the night sky. Most of them are not a problem. Most of them are helpers. These bacteria live mainly in the digestive system, and they communicate with the rest of the body constantly. One of the most important conversations happens between the gut and the immune system. A large portion of immune activity is connected to the gut. This means what you eat influences how well your internal defenses stay balanced. If the gut environment is supported with nourishing foods, the immune system receives better signals. If the gut is stressed by poor food choices over time, the immune system struggles. There is also a direct connection between the gut and the brain. This is sometimes called the gut-brain connection. When the gut environment is off balance, many people notice changes in mood, energy, and overall comfort. This is not imaginary. It is communication happening through nerves and chemical messengers. One of the key nerves involved runs directly from the brain down into the digestive system. This nerve allows messages to travel both ways. What happens in the gut does not stay in the gut. That is why foods that support gut balance are so important over a lifetime. Think of the gut like a living garden. Some foods help the garden thrive. Other foods slowly wear it down. Our goal is not perfection. Our goal is support. Now let us move to another layer of protection inside the body. Your genetic material. Most people think of DNA only as a code you are born with, but DNA also plays a protective role. Every day your body is exposed to the environment. Sunlight, air, stress, daily living. All of this places small demands on your cells. The body is designed to handle this. DNA has built-in repair mechanisms. These mechanisms work quietly in the background, fixing small issues before they become bigger problems. Over time, however, stress, poor habits, and lack of nourishment can slow this repair process. Here is the encouraging part. Certain foods can support DNA repair. They help the body maintain its protective systems. Another important concept related to DNA is something often described as a protective cap. Over time, these protective structures naturally shorten. This is part of aging. But lifestyle choices influence how fast this process happens. Chronic stress, inactivity, and poor nutrition can speed things up. Supportive foods and habits can slow things down. Green tea, coffee, and leafy vegetables are often mentioned because they contain natural compounds that appear to support these protective processes. Again, this is not about extremes, it is about consistency. Now we arrive at a system everyone talks about, the immune system. Your immune system is remarkably capable even later in life when it is supported properly. It works like a coordinated team, constantly monitoring and responding to internal and external signals. The immune system does two main things. It responds to outside challenges, and it monitors internal balance. Foods rich in natural protective compounds can help this system function more efficiently. Blueberries are one example often discussed. They contain compounds that support immune signaling. Broccoli sprouts are another example. These young sprouts contain concentrated natural substances that appear to support immune response. What is interesting is that sometimes the less obvious part of a vegetable contains more of these supportive compounds. Broccoli stems, for example, contain valuable substances that many people overlook. Young sprouts, in general, are dense with nutrients because they contain everything the plant needs to grow. When people regularly include these foods, they are not replacing medical care. They are supporting the body's natural defenses. Now let us talk about body fat. This is an area filled with misunderstanding. Fat is often spoken about as something negative, but fat has important roles in the body. From the very beginning of life, fat plays a protective and supportive role. It stores energy, cushions organs, and produces hormones that help regulate appetite and metabolism. Healthy fat tissue helps maintain balance. Problems arise when fat becomes excessive or accumulates in areas where it interferes with organ function. Fat tissue is not just storage. It also communicates with the rest of the body through hormones. Some of these hormones help regulate hunger and energy use. Balance is the key. There is also a type of fat that works differently. It generates heat and helps regulate energy use. This type of fat draws energy from other fat stores and helps maintain metabolic activity. This is not about chasing trends. It is about understanding that the body has multiple systems working together. Certain lifestyle habits can encourage this beneficial activity. Mild exposure to cooler temperatures, regular movement, and supportive foods all play a role. What matters most is not removing everything from your diet. What matters is what you add. When people focus on adding nourishing foods they enjoy, they naturally crowd out less helpful choices. This approach is sustainable and realistic. You do not need perfection, you need consistency. In the next part, we will continue by talking about practical eating patterns, longevity-focused habits, and how simple daily choices support circulation, metabolism, and long-term comfort. Now let us talk about a question many people quietly wonder about as they get older. How do we support a healthy metabolism and comfortable body weight without turning life into constant restriction? I want to be very clear here. This is not about strict rules or harsh discipline. It is about understanding how the body actually works. Body fat is not the enemy. In fact, fat is an active organ in the body. It produces signals that help regulate appetite, energy use, and balance. From early life onward, fat plays a protective role. It cushions organs, stores energy, and communicates with the brain through hormones. One of these hormones helps regulate hunger. Another helps the body efficiently use energy from food. A third acts like a brake, preventing excess energy storage. This balance allows the body to adjust day by day. Problems appear when this system becomes overloaded for long periods of time. There is also an important distinction between different types of fat. Some fat is stored just under the skin. Another type is stored deeper around the organs. This deeper fat can interfere with normal function when it becomes excessive, even in people who appear thin on the outside. Then there is another form of fat that many people find fascinating once they learn about it. This type of fat helps generate warmth and uses energy actively. Instead of storing fuel, it burns fuel. It draws energy from other fat stores and supports metabolic activity. This system exists in adults, not just in infants. It is part of the body's natural design. Certain habits can encourage this beneficial activity. Gentle cold exposure, regular movement, and supportive foods all play a role. Again, this is not about extremes, it is about nudging the body towards balance. Now let us talk about how people often struggle with dietary advice. Many approaches focus on removing foods. This creates stress, frustration, and a sense of deprivation. A more sustainable approach is to focus on adding foods that support the body. When you add nourishing foods you enjoy, your body naturally becomes more resilient. This resilience allows occasional indulgences without guilt or fear. Food is not just fuel, food is also pleasure, culture, and connection. Sharing meals, enjoying flavors, and eating mindfully all reduce stress. Lower stress supports the very systems we want to protect. There is an old idea that resonates here. Enjoy smaller portions of many things rather than large portions of one thing. This allows satisfaction without overload. Now let us talk about variety. Many people eat the same handful of foods repeatedly. While familiar foods can be comforting, variety brings new nutrients and new signals to the body. One often overlooked fruit is the kiwi. It is rich in vitamin C and fiber. Research has shown that regular consumption of kiwi supports natural repair processes in the body and encourages a healthier gut environment. It does not need to be complicated. One kiwi added to your day can be a gentle upgrade. Fiber plays a special role here. It feeds beneficial gut bacteria. When these bacteria thrive, they support immune balance, metabolic comfort, and even mood. Another important idea is learning how your body responds to foods. Your body communicates constantly. Pay attention to how you feel after meals. Comfort, energy, and clarity are valuable signals. Now let us talk about longevity. Living longer only matters if life remains enjoyable. Longevity is not just about years, it is about maintaining mobility, clarity, and independence. One key factor is circulation. Good circulation supports the brain, muscles, and organs. Foods that support healthy blood flow contribute to this foundation. Certain plant compounds found in fruit skins, nuts, and vegetables help support blood vessel flexibility. This flexibility allows nutrients and oxygen to reach tissues efficiently. Movement also matters. It does not need to be intense. Consistent, gentle movement supports circulation and muscle renewal. Muscle tissue renews itself through natural repair processes. These processes rely on internal renewal systems that respond to supportive foods. Extra virgin olive oil is one example often mentioned. It contains natural compounds that support renewal processes and protect cells. Omega-3 fats found in seafood also play a role. They support cell membranes and renewal pathways. Seafood does not need to be complicated. Even simple preparations can provide meaningful benefits. Dark chocolate appears again here. When consumed in moderation and with high cacao content, it provides compounds that support renewal signals in the body. Notice the theme. No single food does everything. It is the pattern that matters. This brings us to eating patterns observed in long-living populations. Mediterranean-style eating is often discussed. This pattern emphasizes vegetables, fruits, legumes, healthy fats, and moderate seafood. Asian dietary traditions share many similarities. Plant-focused meals, fermented foods, and balanced portions appear repeatedly. These traditions developed over centuries, not as trends, but as practical ways to nourish the body and enjoy life. You do not need to follow one culture exactly. You can blend patterns that feel natural to you. What matters is freshness, variety, and consistency. Now let us talk about sleep, movement, and daily habits. Quality rest supports every system we have discussed. Poor sleep places stress on metabolism, immune balance, and renewal. Movement keeps circulation flowing. It does not need to be extreme. Regular walking, gentle stretching, and daily activity are powerful. Eating with awareness completes the picture. Now let us focus on blood vessels. Your heart pumps blood through an enormous network of vessels throughout the body. These vessels deliver oxygen and nutrients to every cell. Healthy vessels are flexible and smooth inside. This allows blood to flow easily. Over time, stress and poor habits can reduce this flexibility. The inner lining becomes less smooth and flow becomes less efficient. The encouraging news is that lifestyle choices influence this process. Foods rich in natural protective compounds support vessel health. Movement maintains flexibility. Stress management protects inner balance. This is not a one-way path. The body is adaptable. Gut health also plays a role here. Certain beneficial gut bacteria appear to support metabolic balance and reduce inflammation. These bacteria thrive when the gut environment is supported. Foods rich in natural polyphenols encourage this environment. Pomegranate, berries, and fermented foods are examples. You do not need to chase supplements. You can support these systems through food. The overall message is empowerment. Your body has remarkable systems designed to protect and renew itself. Food, movement, rest, and mindset all influence how well these systems work. You do not need perfection, you need understanding and consistency. Let us bring everything together in a simple and practical way. When people talk about health, nutrition, and aging, it often feels overwhelming. Too many rules, too many warnings, too much fear. I want to leave you with something calmer and more useful. Your body is not fragile, it is adaptive. From the very beginning of life, your body was designed with systems that protect, repair, and renew. These systems do not disappear with age, they respond to how you live. One of the most powerful tools you have is daily choice. Not perfection, not strict discipline, just consistent, thoughtful choices. Let us talk about 5 practical principles you can return to again and again. First, hydration. Water supports every process in the body. When the body is underhydrated, everything works harder than it needs to. Digestion slows, circulation struggles, renewal processes become less efficient. Drinking water regularly is a simple way to support balance. Second, eat foods you enjoy that come from plants. This does not mean giving up everything else. It means letting plant-based foods form the foundation of your meals. Vegetables, fruits, beans, herbs, nuts, and seeds offer fiber and natural compounds that support the gut, circulation, and metabolism. When you start there, the rest tends to fall into place. Third, reduce ultra-processed foods when possible. These foods are designed for convenience and flavor, but over time they place unnecessary stress on the gut and metabolic systems. Reducing them is not about punishment, it is about making room for foods that give something back. Fourth, be mindful of added sugars. Natural sweetness from whole foods is different from concentrated added sugars. Too much added sugar overloads metabolic pathways and disrupts gut balance. Moderation here goes a long way. Fifth, choose beverages wisely. Water is your base. Tea and coffee in reasonable amounts can be supportive choices. What you add to them matters. Simplicity works best. Now let us talk about patterns rather than rules. Healthy eating patterns around the world share common themes. They emphasize whole foods, variety, balance, and enjoyment. Meals are not rushed. Food is shared. Portions are reasonable. These patterns support longevity, not because they are perfect, but because they are sustainable. Longevity is about quality of life. Good circulation supports clear thinking. Strong muscles support independence. A balanced gut supports comfort and mood. Sleep plays a role here too. Rest allows repair to happen. Prioritizing sleep is one of the most underrated health choices you can make. Movement matters as well. It does not need to be intense. Daily movement supports circulation and helps the body stay responsive. Another important idea is curiosity. Be curious about foods you have not tried. Explore new vegetables, try different preparations. Variety brings resilience. Food does not need to be complicated. If you can prepare simple meals, you can support your health. Cooking does not require perfection. It requires intention. There is something deeply satisfying about preparing food for yourself. It builds confidence and connection. Now let me leave you with one final perspective. Health is not something you earn through suffering. It is something you support through care. When you choose foods that nourish you, move your body regularly, rest well, and stay engaged with life, you are giving your body the signals it understands. These signals say one thing: keep going, keep renewing, keep adapting. Small choices repeated over time matter more than dramatic changes. If you take anything from this, let it be this: add more of what supports you. Be gentle with yourself. Trust that your body knows how to respond. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you found this helpful, stay with me and continue learning together.